All right, so welcome everyone. It is June the 8th and we're going to be doing part 3 with Albert Einstein, the 7th dimension to the 12th, and a little bit more information about breathing as well. So let's get started right away with the meditation to get a feel for Albert. And here we go.
Start by relaxing, by sinking into your chair, the floor, the bed, your car seat, wherever you are. Just feel yourself sinking in, bringing all the energy into your beloved sweetheart, feeling that beautiful tri-flame of your core, the blue diamond, the pink diamond, the gold diamond of your divine feminine, your divine self, and the divine masculine, all in perfect balance, all in perfect harmony. And Albert has asked us this morning to work with a beautiful ray of black. And black in the material realm is the presence of all rays, all colors. So often black gets a bad rap. So let's begin. Open your crown, open your heart, open your root, and everything in between. And take a deep, deep breath. Inhale as deeply as you possibly can until your solar plexus is out past your chest. And breathe in black. Breathe in the black of the infinite universe, of the deepest void, of deep, rich black velvet. Feel yourself, wrap yourself in this wonderful black velvet shawl. Cocoon yourself. Breathe in obsidian and Apache tears. Black roses, black tulips. And feel the velvet. And as you fill yourself with the infinity of coal, feel that this separation between your internal space and the external space of all is simply dissolving, as if this very thin membrane that we call skin is simply gone. So it is not that you are leaving your physical body, but that standard sensation of separation between you and all energy has disappeared. And in that infinity of all energy, feel all your aspects, all pieces, emanations of your being, past, present, future, surround you, embrace you in love, no matter what has transpired. The kernel and the core of who you are has never changed, and that is love. So feel that support being sent to you gently, like gentle waves of sound, surrounding you, infusing you, and loving you.
Okay, so let's begin with the slideshow. And as I said, we'll be talking a little bit about the breath and just finishing up the dimensions. So this is the cover. And with Albert's quote, all of the universe is patterned on the mother, the father, and the one. And you can see how they've shown me how we hold gender equality within the physical form. And that's why we have the father energy, the golden energy, and the mother energy, starting in the mind and then doing the crossover here, connected to the water, connected to the sunlight. And up here, this is the symbol of the breathing pattern that Albert explained to us. We breathe in the pattern of the mother, the blue energy, hold it in the divine flame in the heart of the father. And with that conjoining, it conjoins into green, which is the blue, and the yellow combined, which is love. And we send that out to the world. So it works in very well with our Tuesday sending love group. Okay, so and this is Albert explaining about the breath. The in-breath is the inhalation. So blue, the color of blue is the balance of hope, the masculine and the feminine, that bedrock foundation that we all carry in us, in the physical form, in the heart, in the tri-flame as well. It's the color of forgiveness, of peace, of serenity, of faith, of trust. And when we conjoin with the sacred, in the sacred union of the father to the mother, it is that moment of creation. So creation is either blue or it's yellow. And at this point, it's yellow. And we're holding the energy of the breath in the still point within the heart. And Albert says, no matter how minuscule, there is that moment of still point. And in that moment, that nanosecond, is the implosion and explosion, the formulation of creation. And the outbreath of the mother, her exhalation is creation. It is the exhalation not only of her desire, but of all the energy, if you can fathom this, all the energy that is required to create. Whatever you can think of and far beyond, all life follows this pattern. So it's really beautiful to see it written down and right in front of us. Explained to us by Albert. So another way to do it is you can place your hands on your heart and clearly identify what you'd like to change. And you can talk to the mother, you can talk to Albert, you can talk to your circle, and it may be for self or another or a situation. And then breathe in the blue, the mother energy, conjoin with the father, and breathe out the oneness, the love from the still point. Now the golden yellow is also joy. That is also a point of gratitude. And I often will talk about blue being the forgiveness of everything, joy being the gratitude, the golden yellow. Combine the two, we create love. And some of the wording that Albert recommended we say is restore the original plan. And I have to say that's very powerful. I've been practicing it all week. So what we are doing is restoring the true divine pattern, the divinity of what it truly is. And Albert says we have been breathing in, trying to gain enough life force to create, but that it has always been there and now we know it. So in every breath is everything, the life force to create. And what occurs in this process of 7, and I think there's 7.9 billion of us here, exhaling together is the creation of the mother's pattern. It is the creation, the restoration, the resurrection, and the brand new existence of a planet of love. And universal law states, as within, so without. So the more we understand this balance of the mother and the father within, that exhalation, that of balance, of gender equality within is what creates it without. It's physics, it's universal law, as within, so without. So just even understanding this, seeing it is fabulous. Okay, now Albert, when he was channeling about the dimensions, he talked about breathing in and out through the chakras like this. So this is where we're at right now, the in-breath into the heart. Okay, so, and that's this. So he says you breathe in the essence of the mother and father and one into what you think of as your heart, your soul, your being, and it is love, and you fix it, you hold on to it because it is the most precious commodity and you anchor it. So this is the heart chakra connected to the law of unification, unity, all about us working together in community, everyone getting along, no more wars with family, friends, communities, nations, countries, nations. The planet becoming a planet of peace, all weapons melted down into garden tools. There's a lovely man doing that. So I'm holding that he's going to melt all the weapons down. Okay, so now Albert Einstein says, the 7th dimension is known as the dimension of the Christ consciousness. This is the state of being the heart and knowing of love. It is the growth opportunity for compassion, kindness, selflessness, honoring, and love. When you anchor in this place of consciousness, you are fully capable of holding the vibrations, energies, lessons, understanding, and growth of all the 12 dimensions available to you on this planet. It is the gentle, allowing state of being that permits expansion and incorporation of your entire original imprint, soul design, what you think of as your universal or higher self, your angelic, or your oversoul. If you think of the 7th dimension in terms of the electromagnetic field that governs your planet, it allows you the capacity to incorporate the electric nature of the energy, patterning, and lessons of the first 6 dimensions, and the magnetic energy pull of the 8th through 12th. You can think of the 7th dimension as the place of still point where all energies anchor and flourish. It can be the place of intersection of all and is the most natural and comfortable dimension for human beings, because it is not only peaceful, but it feels like home to most. It is the state of being in perfect balance of simply being. While many dimensions entail action, this is more a state of allowing, because it is the place of intersection. It is the growth lesson of acceptance and acknowledgement of unity and connectedness of all beings and all dimensions and all life forms. Okay, it is very peaceful. I love the 7th dimension. Okay, so now this is just a reminder that all the dimensions are all around us. They're not fixed points on a compass, and we have access to all of the dimensions from 1 through 12. It's definitely easier to get into the higher ones when we're definitely anchored in the heart of love. But from the third dimension, we have full access. It's that release of all lack of self-worth and lack of self-love that creates easy access. When we suffer from lack of self-love and lack of self-worth, that tends to bar us from the higher dimensions. So letting go all those belief systems that are not of love is really important at this time. And this information came from St. Francis at the end of his channeling about charity, and charity is connected to the 7th dimension and the heart chakra. So it made sense for him to explain this clock-like structure. And he didn't say exactly the 12 points were the dimensions, but it's a circle, and I just figured, I think that's what he was talking about. Okay, so now we're up to the high heart, the Sarun chakra, right above the heart, the green heart chakra. This is connected to the law of transmutation and the 8th dimension. And the law of transmutation was about bringing all energy back to original purity. So letting go all our lack of self-worth, lack of self-love, anchoring in our core, in that responsibility to understand love and worth. And he says, Albert says, what you do, you bring it to still point from the heart, and you let it explode out through your high heart. So this is the breathing that through the chakras. And then he says, why do you think you have 2 heart chakras, one high and one in the center? And he says, through your high heart, you explode out as joy, as harmony, as peace, the action of keeper of the hearth and keeper of the heart. And then he talked to a girl in the room when this channeling happened. Her name was Julie, and he told her that she carried the rose. Now, the mother's energy is often portrayed as a blue rose. And he said to Julie, you know what love in action is, and it is sublime joy, and it is your birthright. You cannot simply hold this in you. You are created for the in-breath and the out-breath. Breathe in love, which is in the air. So that's the moisture in the air, the evaporated moisture, the sunlight, it's already in the air. And that is the way it is fabricated. It is not something that you need to go seeking hither and yon. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. So there's a couple of different techniques for the breathing. You can breathe in the blue energy, the patterning of the mother, or you can breathe in just knowing there's love in the air. And he says, and so love is green. Albert says the chaos occurs when you breathe it in and you say, oh, no, no, I don't deserve love. No, no, the mother didn't give me any love. My mother and my mother's mother and my mother's mother's mother and my father thrown in and my cousin, by the way, didn't give me love. So what I will do is I will freeze it, and then I will hide away and I will cower in the dark. And then you exhale hatred, cruelty. This is chaos. So he's talking about really letting go the past, letting go those memories of the past, just knowing that we're all here to create peace. And the more peaceful we feel about the past, more non-judgmental we are about the past, whatever has happened to us, the more we access the higher dimensions and the peace within, and help the planet create our planet of peace. Okay, and then Albert says your high heart is your center for the 8th dimension of creativity. You are creating, you're taking care of the hearth, whether it is your home or your body, perfect health, or sweet Gaia herself. You are taking care to go to the prisons And then this lady, Dawn, was also in Florida at the time when this channeling came through. And this was such an inspiration to me when he said, go to the prisons and tell the prisoners you are loved. And this woman had been doing this. So she was actually sitting right beside me. So I got to ask her all about it. And Albert says, that is the healing, because you are saying you are worthy. You may have forgotten that you are worthy. So I am reminding you. And that is the most powerful action of love there is. And all beings of so many different races and types are imprisoned in the belief that they are not worthy. And how can that be when they are the pattern of the mother? And then he said to Dawn, your work is stellar. Do not change it. Do not change it. I have to say that was a huge inspiration. And when I started going to visit the women in recovery, I've always remembered Albert saying this. I was really happy that he did. Okay, so then the 8th dimension is creation. This is a state of being where the manipulation of energy of my beloved subatomic particles of the fuel of love into form, be it process or tangible, is learned. When you have anchored the growth pattern of the 8th, then you have no difficulty in bringing forth consistently that which your heart desires, and that which is in alignment with source and your universe. Creations that are not in alignment with the higher self and collective are phantoms manufactured by human ego and not of the sacred nature of the growth patterns of the 8th. So the 8th is really anchoring that core responsibility of knowing our self-love and self-worth. And this is what he's explaining here. In many ways, this is the most challenging growth cycle of all. Many travel through this creation dimension again and again, shying away from the energy because it entails use of personal core essence power and the acceptance of responsibility, knowing that self-worth and self-love. This lesson of acceptance for one's creation is an inherent component of this growth cycle. You cannot consistently create and anchor into the 3rd reality, the 3rd dimension where we live, without acceptance of this precept. Many shy away from this cycle because they believe it is a sin of hubris to think that they can manipulate atoms. They believe that this is the purview only of the gods. This situation is often present because of flow from past lives when human ego manufactured painful experiences. The qualities of this growth are the understanding of unity with one and all, the ability to fully embrace and participate with God's source. It is an acceptance of your role within the universe, and it is a humble, devout vow to abide by the universal laws of creation. It is through the embracing of this growth cycle and that the anchoring of Nova being and the creation of Nova Earth will truly come to pass. So I like how he brought up the universal laws, because we're going to go back and study them again. The virtue is awe in deep recognition of the wonder and unlimited potential of the universe and source. So awe is connected to the umbilical chakra, to the 4th dimension, the law of change, and knowing how magical this world is. Okay. There is a human tendency to wish to explore, either past or present or future, the magnificence of who you have been. Many of you wish to be saints, masters, cohorts of brilliant beings, ascended beings. There is a tendency to ignore or desire to overlook those times when you have been perhaps a more exploring, marauding type, male and female. I like his languaging. But it is important that all these pieces and aspects of yourself be included. No, not the darkness or the aberrant behavior, the dissonance or the chaos that you explored at one point or another, for all beings have done everything, but to see in that being the extraordinary light that was underneath and ever present, because it is never, not in your realm or ours, a loving gesture to judge. So just know we've all played the good, the bad, and the ugly. This often comes up in the reading room, and that we're here to master compassion for self, for everything, so that we don't judge what's happening on the planet right now. We come to that compassion, and we're sending compassion all the time. And that's the way the new systems can emerge, and not when we're sending out judgment of self or another. When you ignore those pieces of yourself or try to pretend to yourself that they do not exist, then what you are doing is truly judging yourself harshly. It is important to take the strength of all experience, realizing the divinity in those experiences and the growth patterns, and to bring them and to anchor them in your being right now, because they are part of the divine pattern. The expression may have deviated by the exercise of free will, but the pattern was never altered. And Albert really wanted us to understand that. Really anchoring that compassion for self and for everyone. Okay, so moving up to the clavicle, right under the throat. This is the law of instantaneous transmission and transformation. The 9th dimension, a dimension of truth that carries the quality of truth. And he says, you breathe into your clavicle, breathing in again the universe, the pattern of the mother. You're breathing in the energy that allows you to know you're speaking to your guides, to your I am, through their I am, to the I am. So I included the picture of all the chakras here because this breath can actually shoot us right up to the crown with Saint Germain and the I am energy. And Albert says, and that's why I made this little breath symbol here. So you can use these colors in many different ways, and the infinity sign and the infinity breath, lots of different ways to use the colors. And Albert said, oh, if only I had known this when I was teaching. He said he had a glimmer, but he did not know the fullness. Okay, so the 9th dimension is all about completion. The 9th dimension growth pattern engenders completion. This is often a challenge for human beings. It is the understanding of the pattern of growth for each cycle of life and existence. It is the embracing of completion, while realizing that while life cycles are defined, that existence is infinite. It is anchored and made manifest in the human being by the ability to let go, to reach resolution, to continue on in joy, in gratitude, to accept and participate in the unfoldment. The quality of this dimension is truth. Now, truth, just briefly encapsulated, is knowing that there is no separation and that everything is in divine order. And the separation, I mean that we are never alone. Our guides are always with us. And so that's the part where we're never alone, and then that everything is in divine order. So the growth pattern of this dimension is easily discernible in human beings. The most significant anchoring of this dimension's quality is when a baby is born. They choose consciously and fully aware to relinquish their state of angelic freedom to come into form, to continue with a new cycle in order to be of service and have a unique human experience. That momentous event could not take place unless the spirit coming into form had fully embraced the qualities of the 9th dimension. So every child that's born here has 9th dimensional growth patterns anchored. That is what humans so often fail to understand, that the growth patterns of the other dimensions are already present within the 3rd dimension when the child is born. They are undeniable as the rings on an ancient oak tree, not seen from the outside, but present nevertheless. It is the truth of the core essence. The choice in the human 3rd reality is simply whether or not you will allow those qualities to be brought to the surface. The same quality is seen in the completion of life, of the ability to resolve and embrace the next chapter of existence. The same is true of the growth patterns of resolution of old patterns, relationships, habits, addictions, and jobs. When you practice completion, you are drawing on the energy of the 9th dimension. So that's the clavicle, right under the throat. You are pulling to you the knowledge and the patterning of that reality. So it's no wonder it's connected to our guides, to the our I am, our guides I ams, and up to the I am. All right, so moving up to the throat, and this is connected to the law of karmic dispensation, knowing everything is forgiven, and the 10th dimension, and also hope. Albert says the out breath is the communication. It is the communication of beauty, of love, of tenderness. It is the sound of the mother, and she speaks in all voices, all tongues, all sound, whether it is the buzz of the bumblebee or the sound of the ant crawling across the leaf. It is the sound of the mother, and it is magnificent. So you can see I've used green. You can breathe out green. You can breathe out the blue of the mother. You can change up the colors that go in and out, and it's fun to experiment. Okay, so the 10th dimension contains the growth patterns of beauty, purity, and charity. It is the patterning and state of being in complete willingness to share and participate in and throughout the universe. It is the growth of selflessness and generosity. It is the sense and patterning of understanding, knowing, and creating beauty from the purity of heart, soul, and being. So now beauty, thinking back on what that one, the expansion of it from the higher realms is when we're in harmony with everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's just a mini way of looking at beauty. So it is the commitment to be only a reflection of love. This is a magnificent dimension that few upon the earth achieve, but which is completely available to each of you to experience. It is so far beyond what you conceive of in terms of tangible human creation, and yet it is part of the pattern of each and every plant, animal, tree, rock, stream, and molecule of air on your planet. It is part of the essence of Gaia. It is the ability to fully participate uniquely, but with no sense of ego self. In many ways, it embodies the divine the quality of divine creation. This is the dimension where angels play. Okay. So there we go, way up here. So that's the breath going out through the throat. Hang on. Out through the throat. So see how we went into the heart and out the high heart and into the clavicle and then out through the throat. Now we're going to go in through the fourth eye and then out through the third eye. Okay, so here's the fourth eye right at the bridge of the nose right here. Connected to the law of attraction and repulsion, the 11th dimension. And this is where we explain beauty because of the colors. So the 11th dimension, the 11th chakra, it's these silver colors. I didn't do a very good job of this coloring behind here on this chakra, but it's really silvers and magentas. And magenta is the perfect balance of red and blue. So Albert says you bring in to your fourth eye, you breathe it in to know what reality truly looks like, interdimensional reality, and that is what your fourth eye is for. So the third and the fourth eye are very connected. They're right here on your bridge of your nose and then the middle of the forehead. And when you breathe in through your fourth eye, inside of in your mind's eye, often we can see pictures. So it's a good practice to breathe in, practice breathing in through the fourth and out through the third eye. And here's the third eye. Oh, I think maybe there was, no, okay. There we go. Here's the third eye connected to the law of elimination. So this is very deep forgiveness, the elimination law. And both the third eye and the fourth eye create the 11th dimension. So these are two chakras creating one dimension. And wisdom is also connected with these chakras. With the third and fourth eye, there's beauty, there's truth, there's beauty, there's wisdom and compassion. Compassion is also this color of magenta. It's several colors. It's red, it's green, it's magenta. Okay. So then Albert says that as you breathe out, you open your aperture and you blow out and you see. So he's talking about the third eye, middle of the forehead. You see the truth and the magnificence of what truly exists, not just what you have thought of as firm physical, but the truth of the beauty. So it's interesting what happens when the third and fourth eye opens. You begin to see as the higher realm see that from that perspective of non-judgment of everything. This has been my personal experience. And then you start seeing other things too, often past lives. You start seeing into the field of different people and self. So I highly recommend the breathing. Okay, so the 11th dimension contains the growth opportunity of mastery. This term is greatly misunderstood upon your planet. What mastery means is the full embrace of all abilities, knowing, and talents, of which the human are minor, of self as reflection of divine. It is the quiet acceptance of self as participant and reflection of God source. It is the lesson of letting go of all preconceptions and limitations and becoming a willing participating vessel of one. And then Albert says, with this information, we begin to see how fluid the dimensions are, how they work like a formula together, joining together in growth patterns to create something new, old, unique, and common. All your master teachers, including Jesus Sananda, emanate from the 11th dimension. It is a growth pattern that, when anchored, results in not only the ability, but the desire to teach, contribute, and heal. The presence of many masters upon the earth is a wonderful way in which to understand how the qualities of the dimensions are anchored in the third physical life form. So that's our physical body, and the dimensions sitting still in meditation, in the heart, going within. There's so much to learn. It's the way. Yes. Okay, so now finally up to the crown chakra, the law of constancy, completion, and continuity, the 12th dimension and its grace that's associated with this chakra and dimension. And Albert says, then you breathe in the I am, the source, the grace, and you hold it. You fix it inside your crown and you never want to let it go, but you do, because in your 14th chakra, you begin to let it out. And in your 15th, you bring in the great central sun. So I've got these chakras here above the head. You can see them. And then you fly to the light, letting go of form ideation. You may even think of this chakra, your top chakra, as your white hole. And he says, go. And he says, okay, so this is a practice in meditation. When we're aligning our chakras, you can literally go up and down through the chakras and out through the top and up to source, and then turn around and come back down through all the chakras. And you can drop down your red cord to the council fire and Gaia, and then go back up through all the chakras and anchor in the heart. And it's a beautiful way to really come into divine alignment. So it's connected to the breathing, connected just sitting still and listening to our guides or guided meditation and practicing aligning all these chakras and dimensions that are all that are the chakras are really all around us. The dimensions are all around us. The growth patterns are all around us, and the chakras are within us. So within and without, the more you sit in meditation, the more it becomes apparent. But I highly recommend it to sit still and ask for guidance. And Albert says, determine when you feel a little imbalanced, unbalanced, and he says, which is bad. determine where you are. He recommends we follow our breath, follow our words, follow our actions, because we are leading the way. So following the words is a brilliant way, listening to what is coming out of our mouth and bringing the words into divine alignment when we notice something where we're, maybe focusing on our lack of self-worth instead of our worthiness, to change up the wording so that we are consistently knowing our worth and expressing our worth, and knowing our love and expressing that, being that compassion, that non-judgment of everything. Okay. So here's the 12th dimension. Growth pattern is of joy, grace, and love. This is the point of wholeness where there is no need to demonstrate and form. This is the place, the state of being, the bridge to the divine ecstasy, to the place of arrival, integration, and departure from your universe. When you have integrated the growth opportunities of the 12th dimension, you are free to basically travel where you wish. It is the state of being that incorporates all the growth patterns of the other dimensions. It is outside of time, space, continuum. To sum up, he says, I wish you to understand that within each of these dimensions, there are 12 levels, bands, or planes. This is the gradation of the diamond that I spoke of earlier. Sometimes the diamond is exceptionally clear and flawless, other times it is not. Each of these dimensions has a pattern of physical, observable form. So when he says within each dimension, there's 12 levels, bands, or planes, often I call them almost like classrooms that we can go in and out of. So that means there's 144 of these levels, classrooms that we're learning to go in and out of, 12 within each dimension. Okay. And then he says, you are able to see every single day, not only in the unseen realms, but in the humans around you. Notice how this one seems to be able to resolve, let go, and complete, or that one holds the quality of clarity and truth, while another seems to have learned and incorporated the growth pattern of creation. Upon your planet and within metaphysical circles, there is a tendency to say that other interdimensional star beings come from a certain dimension. Understand what is being said is that group or individual carries the imprint or quality, the signature of completing that dimension growth cycle. They are still manifesting and operating into the third dimension. Think of it as a form of multi-location. This understanding of the different dimensions is essential to understanding your own soul design, the patterning you carry within your sacred self always. It is also crucial to building your city of light within and choosing and incorporating the qualities of each of the dimensions available to you within your universe. Okay, so when he says city of light, that was a bit confusing to me. But literally within, there's so much to see, and there are cities of light. So we're building our light within, understanding the dimensions, understanding the chakras, understanding the divine qualities, understanding the universal laws, understanding the colors. So basically, the more we understand how things work in the higher realms, it creates this light within us that helps with the creation of Nova Earth and Nova being. So literally, we're carrying around that light everywhere we go. People can feel it. It's within our field, and our fields are always communicating to the other humans. So we're just building more on how things work in the higher realms so that we create that here. My invitation to you is not to choose what dimension you wish to live in, but rather to embrace all the dimensions and growth patterns available to you. That is the gift of this universe and this planet. You are a multi-dimensional being. You always have been. Now is the time to realize and embrace this miracle, this gift of you. And I think that's the end. Yes, it is. That's the end. Okay, and there's Sanakamara and Albert Einstein and Mother Mary, and how we're learning how to balance within so that we create a planet that is balanced without all the systems, all the societies, greater and greater balance here. Okay, and using the breath is so important. And utilizing the colors as well. Okay, so let's come out. And there we go. Okay, awesome. All right, yeah, there's a message from Leanne. She says, thank you, sorry I have to leave. Okay, yeah, that's all good. Thanks, Steve. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot to learn there. Wow, we almost went to 6 o'clock. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions or comments about all of that info? Oh, Steve, yes. Oh, we can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
How can we tell or discriminate or one subplane from another? There are 12 subplanes in a plane.
In a dimension. I don't think we can at this point. I feel like we're probably going in and out of these classrooms all the time, but it's not like I can say, oh, I was just in the third subplane of the third or the ninth dimension. I couldn't tell you that. Yeah, but I think it's just to know that there's 144 different levels that we can go into to evolve.
Yeah.
And that's why these the way they've set up it's like the hologram around different planets. It's infinite and eternal. Like we could come back and back and still learn here. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So all those subplanes in the dimensions, do they have a different pattern in each dimension?
The 12 levels within the dimension, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Do they
yeah, right.
Yes, I would imagine they do have different teachings. So there's a general overview of each dimension, which is what we got. And then there's different classrooms to go into deeper understandings. So say the ninth dimension of completion. There's 9 or 12 different classrooms to go into about completion. Yeah. Yeah, and some of them might be, because that's also where we go and access the I am energy too, and our guides and their I am, our guides I am up to the I am. So, some of the classrooms are about that too. And in a way, that is a way to complete things. When we start understanding I am love, for instance, it creates a form of completion of lack of self-worth and lack of self-love. So working with the I am is a type of completion, looking at it that way as well. Yeah.
Okay, when you said that if you're unbalanced, to follow your breath, words and actions, can you expand on that a little more?
Oh yeah, because sometimes out of our mouth will come, we'll talk badly about ourselves. Like humans love, like we're really good at doing that, where we'll say something that's not very loving about ourselves, and it just happens because we've witnessed that as in the family or with our friends, and we'll copy or we'll just start imitating, and we don't even realize what we're doing. But yes, our lack of self-worth and lack of self-love has been so difficult to overcome on this planet. So really watching what's coming out of your mouth, what I found with myself was very helpful. And I tuned into it. And then when I would say something that wasn't loving about myself, I'd go, oh. And then that was the beginning of the awakening to stop doing that. Mhm.
With me, it's not, I don't think I say a lot to other people. I think it's more about what I think.
Okay. Mhm.
So it's the same thing though, right?
Same thing, thoughts, yes. Really follow the words in your thoughts. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. And if you catch yourself being negative towards yourself, judging self, working with I am is a miraculous. Changing it to I am. Say you say, oh, I feel really badly about something I just did. You can change it to I am forgiveness right away. I am gratitude that I'm catching myself saying this. And then anchor in I am love. Mhm. And use the breath at the same time to anchor all that in too. Like know that you're breathing love every breath. We're breathing the pattern of the mother, which is love. It's just our words.
Yeah, I'm using that saying you taught us earlier about I am love, I'm loved, I'm lovable. And I find that very powerful. You know, if I'm beating myself down or something, not having high esteem, that tends to bring it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That one I think we learned with the blessing and virtue of truth. One of the divine qualities. One of the beings recommended that. That's a brilliant one. Mhm. It's really powerful. Mhm. Yeah, because we are our own worst enemy.
What's the difference between doing that and analyzing what's going on and changing that? Are those two separate things, or do we incorporate one into another? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Can you give me an example?
Okay, well, let's see. Sometimes I analyze stuff that I thought was bad or I want to change or get over. And so I'll think about it and see where it comes from.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go back into the past.
Yeah. But it sounds to me like a shorter way to get to that is to do the I am stuff.
Mhm.
Is that the same thing, or do you still have to do the other and the I am?
Yeah, I recommend doing both actually, because if you can
Okay.
find the root of it, where it came from, where you started saying that, or where you absorbed that belief system, which usually comes from the family, and then you forgive the family and be gratitude for the awareness, it brings you right into the present moment where you can do it for the present moment. The I am work.
Yeah.
So it literally ripples. If you get back to the root, it will ripple right up to the present.
Okay, I haven't had much success with that lately. I mean, I don't know. I try to go back, and then all of a sudden it just kind of becomes nebulous instead of clear. And I'm not sure how to clear that up.
Okay, so you can ask your guides for help.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay.
Yeah, ask guides for help, and they will literally send you images of the past so that you can see, oh, that's where that came from.
Okay.
And even if it doesn't take you right back to the root, clean up whatever you see and then ask if there's more. Because it's like, sometimes it's, there's a few things to see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way I look at it is pulling up a weed. You know, if you get the top part, okay, that's only a short-term effect. You got to get down to the roots to really clean it out. And so that's where a lot of the work is, cleaning out all those roots.
Mm-hmm. And especially right now, The energy is the lower chakras, the root, the pubic, the sacral. The galactics are helping us clean up the root of our life. Mhm. And did you just sneeze?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, it looked like you were sneezing, but sneezing
No,
sometimes.
I went like this.
Okay.
I was trying to keep track of everything that you were talking about. That's all.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Because sometimes it leaves my head, we have these great discussions and it leaves my head and I just can I ask for help in remembering this stuff?
Absolutely. Yes. Because your guides, your higher self knows all of this. We all do. And then it's just a matter of sitting still and asking for help.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I call myself a memory jogger. Like I'm putting together these slideshows just to help us. Like, it's just like, we all know this stuff. But it's but it was hard to access this information because of our lack of self-worth and lack of self-love. Even for me to get to this point where I'm sharing, it's taken me since 2012, 10 years. Okay, that's okay, Steve. It's taken me 10 years. And sometimes I'm like, I can look at this information and study it. And then other times I just got to go do something else because there's so much. Yeah. So
Right.
it's no wonder that you're feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, over the past, I don't know how long we've been doing this, over the past year
Yeah, it's been a year. Yeah.
or more. I can only remember a very little bit.
Okay, that's okay. So just know that your guides know it all, and when you sit still and ask for help, they're always right there, and you hear very well. You
I'm
hear the
sorry?
other side. Yeah, you hear the other side very clearly.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I just didn't know, put the two together. Now maybe that I have the two together, I can get a better idea of what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll keep doing this over and over and over until it sinks in more and more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Whoops. I can't do that very well. Okay, Steve. I think Steve has his hand up. I don't know.
Can I just mention something to Ken? You can hear me, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
of course.
There's a couple of things, and I hope I remember both of them. But anyways, one thing about what Albert said is he's not talking about what you were talking about. He's not talking about analyzing or thinking about. He's talking about awareness. He's talking about just be aware of your words, like listen to what you say.
No, I got that.
Okay,
got
well, awareness, simple awareness, just being with it causes it to lift, right? Whereas if we analyze and try to change ourselves, well, we can. I mean, I'm working on myself, but it's pretty difficult. The second thing is in terms of watching our words, not as in observe, but be careful what you say.
Right.
We seem to have this habit of we say something, and no matter how crazy it is or whatever, if we said it, then we have a tendency to make it right. Right.
Oh,
And for me, that's the danger of saying some things, because I know damn well that after having said it, I'll make it right, even if it was like way up in left field. So I think Albert's directing us to be aware of your words, be aware of your feelings, be aware of your moods, of this kind of stuff, because that will have it lift.
actually, I'm just the opposite. I'm aware of all that stuff, and when I make an error, as I call it, I tend to get depressed or get into a somber mood because I felt like I've done something wrong.
Well, that's a Vasana, right?
I'm sorry?
That's a Vasana,
Vasana, yeah, Vasana, whatever you
right?
call
So then you go back to the upset clearing process and work with that.
Okay.
And when you got to the truth of it, as Kathleen was saying a while back, when you've got, and she wasn't saying exactly what I'm going to say, but when you get to the truth of it, it'll disappear. Like the truth will set you free
Cool.
from that Vasana over time, not right away. I mean, you do it once, you create a little bit of, movement, but if you do it again, that Vasana will disappear over time.
So when I look at the Vasana, I'm not trying to change it. I'm usually trying to just get to the root of where it started.
Yes. Well, that's a good thing to do.
Okay.
If you place yourself right back in that incident, there you are again. Now you're an adult, right? You're not a
Mhm.
child. So you feel all the feelings, and at some point, the light goes on. Oh my God, that was behind the collapse of my marriage. That was behind, the problem I had with X.
Okay.
And that aha is what you're looking for, and what will cause the Vasana over time to loosen.
Mhm.
Okay.
And my work has been just going in and being that non-judgment of everything.
Well, I can be non-judgment. I just want to remember it all. That's all.
Okay, well, oftentimes it'll just disappear. And then it becomes no issue anymore.
No. That's not what I mean. I won't get to the bottom of it, and sometimes it'll come up again. And I'm just getting tired of having to work the same thing over and over again because I can't seem to get to the bottom of it. But you guys helped with that. You
Okay.
guys,
Can also use the universal laws to get to the bottom of it. Ask the mother to take it away. The law of elimination.
if I use the law of elimination, does it have what goes into that space? Is it love?
It's forgiveness, basically. The law of
Forgiveness.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really
I see.
deep forgiveness of everything.
I got you.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Oh, you certainly have given me a lot to think about.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep, the
Thank you.
mother can release the hold of the belief systems very easily with the law of elimination and also the dispensation of grace.
Yes.
And that I witnessed very clearly when we were studying grace. Mhm.
Oh,
But if you are getting biscuits from what you're doing, in other words, you have a behavior pattern which is working for you and may not be very positive. So if you have that behavior pattern, then you ask the mother to take away the Vasana. Oh, no. you're still holding on to it, right? Well, maybe I won't ask the mother to take away that Vasana because it's kind of handy. I can use it over here to get this and use it over there.
that's all right. In psychological terms, that's called secondary gain.
Secondary.
Gain.
Okay.
Secondary gain.
So you
Yeah.
have to watch out that you're not still holding on to it for a secondary gain.
Yeah. In other
Then
words,
it won't work. Right?
If you hold on to something and it becomes, you do it because it reinforces the bad habit is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I didn't get the subject of that sentence.
Oh, well, okay. Well, what I'm saying is, we sometimes do things and don't confront ourselves because of it does bring us some good things. For instance, if I act out and then people I get their attention. That's secondary gain.
Yep.
That's a reason not to, I mean, it's not a very powerful one, but it's a reason not to look at that and confront it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, anything like that, if it's in you and you ask the mother to take the Boston away, probably it won't happen because you have to be, it's like your tire, you got a little hole in your tire and the air goes in.
Yeah.
So if you have that secondary gain thought, that's like a hole in the tire and the air goes out and the Boston stays. So you have to be 100% committed to release it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way to be 100% sure is to watch your words.
Yeah, like Albert asked us to.
That's right.
Yeah, especially,
Thank
yeah.
God.
And when you're speaking with another, say there's gossip happening and you're agreeing with the gossip, it's very insidious. We have to be very cognizant of what's coming out of our mouth.
Well, sometimes I agree with people, but I know that what they're saying is not something I believe.
Mhm.
And the only reason I'm doing it is to maintain rapport or, something like that. So
Yeah, I'm talking more like gossip.
I
Yeah,
got you. Okay.
yeah, when we're judging another, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's just good practice. And then if you do catch yourself, not to judge yourself, just go, oh, good, I caught that. And I will practice more, or be, I want to be in divine alignment. I want to be in this place in the center where there's peace with everyone and everything, especially myself. And I think that's why we're studying a 13 chakra system connected to the laws, connected to the dimensions, connected to divine qualities. The whole system brings us into the heart over and over and over.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's very beautifully made.
Hmm.
Very impressed with it.
Well, I need stoppers for my ears so it doesn't leak out.
What's that? Say that again.
I need stoppers for my ears so what you say doesn't leak out.
Corks.
Yeah. Just know you can go through your clavicle right under your throat to your guides at any point, and they will refresh you.
And Ken, there's also databases on the site that have all this stuff in it, arranged according to topic heading. So you can remind yourself in there.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try to take a look at that too.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, what a great discussion. I think I'll turn off the recording now, unless anyone has anything else to say. Any other comment? No. Okay, so let me just stop the recording.